I'm Craig Slate.
And I'm Edward Todd.
And you're listening to
The Fresh CrEd.
Hot Diggity Dogs. We are back. Ed Bertod, Eddie B.
That's a new one.
Oh, it's I need a hot diggity dog.
You're keeping it fresh.
I need a hot diggity dog.
You just made me think I want to eat something. So
but welcome back. And in my fast, I'm in my full fast for the day. Although I did break it a little bit with a few handful of pecans, but
then it's broken.
It is.
Yeah,
shouldn't have done that.
But that's nothing for a
world
class.
No stone for a stepper.
No, we don't have time to translate that, but from East Texas to English. But yeah, it was. You've gone how many days? What's the longest you've ever fasted?
4 days, I believe, is the longest.
4 days.
4 days.
Man, that's a long time.
Yeah.
But we digress.
We're
back here live in Anaheim at the IFPA Global Produce and Floral Show. So thanks for being with us.
Still beautiful here, by the way.
Still beautiful. Before Craig introduces our next guest, it would be a great time to thank our partners. So thank you to Laws Logistics, Thanks LLC, Real Time Intelligence, Full Tilt Marketing, SunFed, IFCO, Shocker Vision, and our great friends at International Fresh Produce Association for having us.
Thank you, all of you guys. We really appreciate it. Like I say, it's what makes it possible. Well, look, I am super excited to introduce a longtime good friend that worked together and spent some time at Chiquita, Mr. Raul Fernandez. Raul, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Ed. It's great to
be
here. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it is. It will be a lot of fun. I mean, so this guy's got, he's one of the smarter individuals that I would call a friend in my friend group, right? He's actually, he's a pretty sharp dude. He's done a lot of different stuff. I mean, my days at Chiquita, he was the guy behind just about all the new inventions that we were testing and trying and getting into. And so, yeah, definitely, I do have a few friends that they ping pretty high on the intelligence level, and Raul was definitely at the top of that class. So,
thank you very much. I've been called more like the mad scientist.
Mad scientist,
but, that's a little bit one side of my life that I don't want to talk too much about.
Oh, that's the part we want to talk about. That's what we brought you here for. That's why we didn't tell you exactly what we're going to talk about. We want that side. So,
well, Craig, I've been in this industry so long. I can't remember whether I was the guy who handed Eve the apple or the guy who gave, Newton the apple that he could
that hit him in the head.
Gravity.
Yeah, the one. Yeah, exactly.
But I started right about that time, so it's kind of a.
So you're trying to say you've been around a minute?
A couple of times around the block.
Yeah, I got you. So I mean, and we've had a couple of different guests on. There's several of us. I think this may be my favorite, like what we've done era that we've done, because just about everybody's been, relatively close in my age camp, right? And I like that. So that's kind of nice. So when everybody says I've been around a long time, I'm like, yeah, I can relate. I have too. But I wasn't back there. I was not handing Eve the apple. I wasn't that far back.
But you got a little bit of banana latex in your blood.
Yes, I do. I do that for sure. So So man, our days at Chiquita, we had some wild times, some great times. And at the end of my time at Chiquita, certainly you and I worked close together on the new technology that we were rolling out and the Appio stuff, and did a lot of fun stuff. But but long before Chiquita, long before we met, long before all that, I mean, what's the history?
What's my story?
Yeah, what's your story? Yeah. Exactly.
Well, actually, it's kind of an interesting story because it somewhat has a metaphor for the produce industry. Because I was born in Costa Rica, but my family's originally from Argentina, so I was raised in Argentina.
Being born in Costa Rica confused me a little bit because I've always thought of you as being an Argentinian. In fact, you don't claim your birthright of Costa Rican descent. Or at least I've never heard that.
Interestingly enough, as you know, Costa Ricans are very proud of their country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And on my U.S. passport, it says Costa Rica, born in Costa Rica. So when I go to Costa Rica, you say, "Oh no, you're Costa Rican, you're a Chico." So they make me go from the tourist line to the domestic line,
Domestic
and,
line, yeah.
and they say, "Welcome home."
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's awesome.
It's fun. And luck had it that I lived Costa Rica at a very young age. Great memories, great friends. My parents really loved Costa Rica. Then, 30 years later, I wound up getting a job with Chiquita Brands, going back to Costa Rica. And interestingly enough, reconnected with the friends of my parents, that their kids, which were our age.
Wow.
And one of them wound up working at Chiquita.
Okay.
So it was a beautiful experience to kind of go 360, kind of come around. And
Wow.
But so my life has been in South America, Central America, and now North America for a long time. I've been in the States since 30 years ago, with the exception of the
So
time I went
how
to
old were
Costa
you when you
Rica.
moved to Argentina?
How
How old were you when you moved to
When I
Argentina?
moved back to Argentina, I was 6 years old.
Yeah, so you born
Yeah.
in Costa Rica, and then you guys
I
moved.
went back, yeah. And I actually lived all over the world because my dad was a foreign service diplomat for Argentina.
Okay.
And so I was born 15 days after they arrived in Costa Rica. My parents weren't really ready. They didn't have any diapers, they didn't have anything. And it was kind of a hectic thing for my mom, just brand new. Back in those days, they traveled by ocean. So my dad had been stationed in Italy,
Okay.
and they landed in Costa Rica, and I was born like the next, before they even got out of the hotel. It's kind of crazy.
Wow.
And that's what created this relationship with these friends of them, because my dad, desperate, didn't know where to go. He saw there was a laundromat kind of place across the street. So he went there and talked to this lady, "Where can I buy diapers and stuff like that?" And she said, "What do you need?" So she told my wife just had a baby. And she
Now
said,
we just got here. We thought we'd have a baby.
"Yeah." And so she said, "Come with me," right? And she took him, and she had literally abandoned her shop and went and helped him out to get all the stuff. And they became great friends of
Right.
ours to this day. Well, she passed, but her kids are still alive. And so that was so when I moved to Costa Rica, back to Argentina. And from Argentina, my dad was sent to Ireland. That's where I learned English. My original English was with an Irish brogue. And if I do get around with some Irish guys, you think, this is not Raul.
I was
This
gonna
is
say,
this
I
guy."
want to hear Raul with an
Yeah.
Irish bro.
Hey,
Yeah, I love
We're going
that.
to Ireland from Spain. We're
Yeah.
going to meet Raul there
Yeah.
from our Spain trip.
And then after that, we went to Egypt. So it's in Egypt. So I lived in Egypt, then in Brazil.
Okay, well,
so all
don't
different
go,
countries,
don't go so
different
fast,
languages.
Raul.
Hmm?
Don't go so fast. So you went to Egypt.
Egypt, yeah.
What were you doing in Egypt?
Well, my dad was sent
Okay,
there,
so you're
right?
you're
Yeah,
still a
yeah,
young
yeah.
person. You're still this is back. in
This
the
is
young-
still back when I was young.
Okay, I'm sorry.
My kind of then from there I finished high school in Brazil. That was the end of my international trips.
Trips, yeah.
And then I started college in Argentina. Studied in Argentina. Started working for a U.S. company, Quaker Oats company.
Mm-hmm.
And luck had it that I started kind of. I thought I was going to work 3 months for them, summer internship. Wound up staying 20 years.
Mm.
And they kept giving me different positions. And that's how I wound up in the States. And I was running all the operation side for South America, from Mexico to Argentina. In that process, Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It gets a little cold in the winter.
Yeah.
And I was born in Costa Rica. So you kind of,
Cold wasn't your bag.
cold wasn't kind of my thing. So one of these February days that's snowing and the wind in Chicago, the snow was coming sideways, right? I get a call from a headhunter, and he tells me about this job in Costa Rica. I looked out the window, saw the snow. In my mind, I was thinking swaying palms, the beach, ocean, right? I don't think I even asked if they paid a salary.
You said, "Yeah, I'm in."
I'm
whatever.
in.
Yeah.
I'm in. By the way, what do I have to do, right? So that's how I wound up at Chiquita in Costa Rica, running all their engineering, packaging, and manufacturing services. So we had box plants, plastic
Oh, yeah.
plants, all that thing.
What year is this?
This is 92.
92. God, well, that's basically about the exact same time I started with those
Yeah.
guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 91, 92. I'd have to look back, but it's one of those. I started there in
Uh-huh.
Houston with Charlie.
Yeah.
So,
Uh, kind of a funny start at the beginning, because I always had this funny thing. My whole career, I keep getting put in positions where it was a problem. I had a knack for solving problems and solving organizations.
right.
So they hired me to go down there. They say, "Oh, you're gonna run this, and you got all these PhDs reporting to you, and all this post-harvest research and all that, oh, exciting stuff." I get there, and I said, "Okay, I need to talk to the people I'm going to be helping, right?" So I meet with the guy who was in charge of all Central American production, a German guy, a really interesting, very interesting guy. So he's, so you're the new guy, huh? How long you think I'm gonna last here? I said, I don't know. He said, I gave you 2 months.
Wow. It's always encouraging.
Because you're not a banana guy, are you?
Yeah.
Well, long story short, I kind of told him, hey, no, look, I'm here. You got to think of me as an investment, not as an expense, because I said, you cost me money and you're not going to do anything good for us. I said, no, I'm an investment. You're going to get a return on investment. I had to make something up
Right.
on the fly. So, long story short, at the end of the year, he called me to his office, invited me to his Christmas party, and he said, hey, we got a lot of things to do together. So, I really won him over. And that was kind of the beginning of a great relationship. Wound up staying another 20 years with Chiquita. And, from being in charge of all this engineering, we were working in packaging, returnable packaging, reducing, cardboard cost, because, as you know, the banana industry has very thin margins. So you have to be squeezing like the fourth decimal point of every dollar. And out of that, with my team, we developed a technology for ripening in containers. And we tested that in Costa Rica, and then the company said, okay, we're going to do this commercially. So moved to Florida. We got a little business going on there. It's a yellow business. Let's start doing the ripening. And you know that part of the story
Yeah,
really
I
well.
definitely do. Yeah,
So
for sure.
it was an interesting business because it started from zero, but it wound up being almost 30% of the business of the company by the time we were leaving the company, right? And it was the most profitable part of the business because the yellow business was a lot more profitable than the green business. So that was a fun experience, right? Then that's when I was to go to Cincinnati. That's your next position. You got to be, in charge of business there. And I thought Cincinnati, looked at the map. That's pretty darn close to Chicago, right?
Pretty close.
So my question: does it snow in Cincinnati? So what about if we stay in Florida? Is that?
Yeah. Is there something I can do from here?
Yeah. Back then there was no this remote thing, but finally the company said, "Yeah, you can run the yellow business from Florida," and we did a lot of fun stuff together in that time, and I stayed there at Chiquita, but I really always had this desire to one day try it on my own, see what I can do, right? And so when there was an opportunity to leave Chiquita, I actually talked myself into being able to be called redundant, as they would say in Britain.
Yeah. Okay.
They would say with a British accent, but redundant.
Well, you say it with your Irish accent. Let's hear it.
And so I started my own consulting company. And I said, I'm going to help companies, especially for Central and South America, come into the U.S. market, and the European market. I'm going to help them be more profitable. And by helping them be more profitable, I want them to spend money back in the communities where they come from. Because I've always had my parents gave us this education, very strong values. I've been sitting in tables with presidents and royalty because of my dad's
My
job.
dad, yeah.
But my dad kept telling us all, hey, we are not them. We are, keep your ego down, right? And my parents were always very socially conscious, always trying to help other people. My sister was a social worker, and I would come home from school and find somebody sleeping in my bed because she had picked up some kid in the street and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting. It was an interesting family, and being the youngest of seven.
And how many kids? How many kids?
Eh?
How many kids you say?
No, I was the youngest of seven.
Of seven. That's what I
Yeah,
meant. Then
yeah,
that's seven.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's where the seven comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, long story short, I started doing that consulting. Got some pretty interesting business. I helped big companies come into North America. That really gave me a pretty good reputation. And out of that, kind of, it's funny what we're doing now with Thanks
Mm-hmm.
came out of that. My partner was originally from Argentina. He's originally from Patagonia.
Okay.
He sold his business there, which is a cold chain management logistics company, and he wanted to start something in the U.S. And he actually he wanted to go back to live in Patagonia. He's from a small town called Chipoleti, which nobody knows about, but he's a fanatic of his town. If you hear him talk, Chipoleti is a combination of New York, Paris, London, and Berlin together.
Wow.
But if you go into reality, it's like a 4 blocks town, one street light.
What's great about it for him is it's his hometown.
I know it's his hometown. Yeah. So he said, told his wife, let's move to back home, right? His wife said, no way. If you're moving alone, right? So, but they used to come in the summers to where I live, Weston, in Florida, because she had a friend there. So he said, okay, if we don't go back to Chipolete, let's move to Weston. His wife said, okay, I'm in,
got you.
right? So was moving to the States. He said, what do I do now? How do I? So then he looked up, in LinkedIn, found, oh, here's a consultant, specializes in the produce business, is from Argentina and lives in Weston.
Yep.
And he hired me, right?
Oh my gosh.
So we got talking. He's half my age, okay?
Yeah,
So
Martin.
yeah, Martin.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of we say we're 2 partners, but 3 millennials because I'm 2 millennials. And so we started talking, and he, kind of, what you want to do, that usual thing. I told him about I like to give back to the communities. Of course, he being from Patagonia and being so fanatic about his hometown, he said, that's exactly what I want to do because I know the farm workers and their life and how how they're out there in the rain when they still need to tend the crops and stuff like that. So I want to give something back, and so that's how we started developing a business that would help brands, but at the same time would help farm workers, and that's what Thanks is all about. And we say we empower brands and empower lives.
Empower brands and empower lives. It's pretty good.
That
Yeah.
is
Kind of hard to go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good slogan for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's so man, yeah, that's quite the journey.
Quite the journey.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see how, based on both you and Martine, but the way coming up from that part of the world, the life of the farm workers it's difficult,
Yeah.
to say the least, especially in some of those countries, right? And what you guys are doing, and empowering, those individuals. That's huge.
Well, it's
a big
real.
deal.
It's truly social responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? So it's really exactly what it is.
Our tagline is we're the human face of sustainability, because you hear about people worrying about water, right? Protect water, reduction in water consumption. You talk about reducing waste, reducing carbon footprint. That's all the industry's talking about that, and it's great. We're doing that, but nobody's talking about what about sustainability of the farm workforce. How do we make sure that we have current generation of farm workers that are able to adopt and adapt to the new technologies that are coming out there? And how do we make sure that we have a next generation of farm workers so we can have this show? I mean, could you think of this show without farm workers?
No.
No.
No, or just being able to eat.
Yeah.
Period. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
But you mentioned about the farm workers in Central and South America. I was in August in California,
Uh-huh.
and we were driving up 101, and we couldn't go further forward because of the mudslides when all the rain that was coming down, and it was pouring rain. I was with Martin in a rental car, and then we looked over to the side, and there was this strawberry field, and guess what?
They're-
Farm workers
they
are
were
there
out there working.
tending. They were tending it. It was flooded all around us. We couldn't drive further north, and these guys were out in the field. So
Yeah.
they said, "Darn it, that's what we are. We are there for them, right?"
Yeah, yeah.
So the way our brand works, the way our system works, we are a program which we connect consumers with farm workers through the label. Every label of the companies that are associated with us, they have their own label, but they have a secondary label, a co-branded label, which has a picture of a farm worker from the farm where that product that you just bought came from. And if you use your phone to click on the QR code, it pops up a video of that farm worker telling you where he works, right? I work at this farm, for this company, this is what I do. My family is, whatever it is, they tell a little bit of story, and they tell you, my dream is to be able to do X. And our program pays for that dream to happen.
Right.
That's why it's called Thanks, because the farm worker says, thanks for helping my dream come true. And the reaction by the consumers is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Of course, the farm workers, it's a life-changing event for them.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you have somebody wants to put their face on the product that's going to go to the market, and at the same time wants to help them achieve a dream, it's something unheard of for them. So it creates an excitement at the farm level that's
Morale.
amazing.
It raises morale, I'm
Yeah.
sure, through the roof.
Yeah. It raises morale, productivity, quality. We don't sell that. When we're talking to companies, we don't sell that because it's very difficult to guarantee it. But 100% of the people who work with us have reported back, you wouldn't believe the transformation we made on the farm. And he said, we're getting, better, people are so enthusiastic about the fact that they see their faces go, my face is going to be at a supermarket, I'm going to be at Walmart. That's unbelievable, right? They love it. And the whole farm rallies around these guys. So it's a lot of excitement, and the reaction of the consumers is just unbelievable. They write to us and say, hey, I bought this, clamshell blueberries. They are the best blueberries ever. I can assure you, they're not the best blueberries ever. They're regular blueberries. But it's just the fact that they are so engaged with the brand.
Right.
And sometimes they say, I went back to the store, they weren't there anymore, but I want to help Manuel achieve his dream. Can I send you a check? Can you
Wow.
imagine they write an email saying, can I send you money? We're struggling to sell a $3 clamshell of blueberries, and they want to send us a $50 check.
Right.
Right? That's the emotional
huge.
connection.
Yeah. But it's tangible. It's
Absolutely.
tangible. That's kind of the thing, It's like with that program, you've got the face of the person, right? It's
Right.
not just some random, and then the connection between that. And I believe you've got the QR code, right? And you hit
Yes.
that, and that gives you the story and the dream.
It pops up on your phone, the whole story, and then we have every single dream we've done since the day one. They're all posted on our website. You can go and check them, and you can see the actual result.
Mm-hmm.
You see the farm work talking about the dream, and then you actually see the dream accomplished. So
You
it's
kinda-
full transparency.
Check off all the boxes there from like tactical, physical, technological, everything across the board.
And we actually have an augmented reality app that if instead
I'm sorry,
of
what kind of
it's an
virtual
augmented reality
yeah.
app, you download it from the App Store. If instead of using just the regular camera, you use our app, you put it on the front of the label, and the label comes to life. It starts talking to you. So you see the label,
Wow.
and the guy who's on the label
Oh, that's
starts
awesome.
talking and tell you the story. You got to see it. It's mind-blowing. There's nothing like that in the whole industry, and the engagement it provides, and it becomes a talking point. People say, hey, look, I got this kill thing, right?
Yeah.
So it multiplies. 75% 4% of millennials and Gen Zers who buy produce check the label. Of that, about 65% click on our QR code.
Huh.
100% comment with a peer.
Really?
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Wow.
Everybody, it's a generational thing. They like to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is they really, Gen Z especially, they don't buy based on an advertising activity. They buy based on peer, recommendations.
Recommendations and
Like we all do
testimonials.
now. We're all looking at how many stars this restaurant has or this
Yeah.
hotel, right? Well,
Right.
they do that even more personally. I mean,
I don't buy socks without looking at the review. I mean, and I'm not Gen Z.
No, no. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I
Yeah.
get that. So curious, dream wise, what are we talking about here? What are they dreaming up down there?
It's unbelievable. We're, of course, we are a society that we have everything at our access, right? In most farm communities, in most rural communities, there's lacks that you wouldn't have in it. So, for example, a very interesting, life-changing article that they love is a washer and dryer, because in most of these places, husband and wife both work in the farm.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you work in the farm? You get your clothes
Clothes
dirty.
dirty, yeah.
Okay, you're working all day, right? Now you get home with dirty clothes, and you got to do laundry, right? Not the most fun thing to do after a whole long 12 hours out in the sun and working like crazy. So when they get a washer, they can just dump the clothing there. They go to work, and then when they come back, they have clean clothes. They don't have to,
Set it and forget it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's literally the marketing behind convenience appliances when they first came out here in the 40s, 50s. It was make your life easier.
to these people, they say, you gave me back 3 hours of life,
Yeah.
3 hours of every day of my life, because
That's
I don't have
huge.
to do laundry.
Yeah.
Because those work days aren't short either, right?
No.
So
And
3 hours is a lot for those guys.
Super cool.
I spend one day out in the farm, and I'm drained when I get home. And these guys are doing it every single day.
Yeah.
It is amazing. So that's an example of the kind of dreams. What does it cost? Maybe $1,500 in terms of value, but for them, it's a life-changing event. They have time now to spend time with their kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that actually, when they spend time with their kids, we've done is we've realized how difficult it is for them to help their kids with their homework. Many farm workers, their kids are going to school at a grade level higher than they ever were able to get to.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah, that's a reality.
yeah.
So what happens is when they get home, the child needs help with the homework, the parents can't help him. And so we realized that, especially during the pandemic, when people had to study remote, kids couldn't study because they had, maybe the whole family had one cell phone, and with minutes, like in the old days, but in South America still common.
Right.
So we started handing out laptops and tablets and internet connections so that they could at least go there. But we realized that the tools that were available were not suited for them because of the English barrier language, because of the difficulty in learning. So we launched a whole parallel initiative called Seeding Futures, because what we're doing is we're helping the next generation of farm workers. And that is a program we offer for free to any farm worker and their family. So they can, it's remote through the internet, but it's live lessons that they can get lessons on their grade age or English for the kids, which is really cool because they join a live class. These are live. This is not canned product. And they're in a class with kids from different countries. So you know how cool it is for them. They're the little town somewhere in Guatemala.
Yeah, no.
And now they're sitting in a classroom with kids from Costa Rica, from the US, from Mexico. It opens up the whole world for them. And we have in parallel classes, which is the program that Romina runs, for the parents. So the parents can help the kids with their homework, but they can also get their general education degree, and they can get certifications so that they can also be more participants in society, if you wish, right? That program it's for free, so we don't charge for that because we think that's part of contribution to promote the next generation of
Right.
farm workers.
Right. Well, Raul, I hate to say it, but we are knocking against the time door. But look,
Hey,
what you guys are doing, what you're doing. I mean, obviously, amazing stuff. I mean, your career. Ed and I talk a lot about, and a lot of the people we talk to, right, and the people, we're all trying to figure out, maybe how do we, return some of this stuff? How do we give it back? Whether it's mentoring people
Sure.
or doing stuff, but realistically, hats off to you and Martine.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
Sounds
Oh.
amazing.
yeah.
I tell you, it's so much fun. We have so much fun doing it because it's really something that you do from the heart, right?
Yeah.
How can
But we
people
also
learn
partner-
more and
Yeah,
participate?
It's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Our website is thxdreams.com,
Okay.
and there you can get a lot of information.
Mhm.
We're here at booth 3993,
Okay.
and I do like to say that we're very grateful to the companies that have partnered with us. We already have 16 companies that are part of the different parts of the program with thanks, and some companies that you know very well,
Yeah, I know.
Craig.
Yeah, I know.
I
I mean, no,
don't know if I
we're
could
glad.
plug
Like
it.
I said, we
I
have
put a little plug there for good old
we
Sunfed.
appreciate it.
but,
Sunbed, yeah.
There's a lot of great companies that are said, "Oh, makes a lot of sense. We are in," and
right.
this show has been fantastic to us. I can't tell you how many really people have signed up now, but it was amazing. People signed on the spot. We wanted to start doing Let's Talk Monday. We're starting Monday,
Awesome.
so it's really the time is right and the
exciting.
program is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for having me here.
No,
Thank
for
you.
sure. Glad to have you here. And yeah, we'll be pushing this out and getting this word out. We'll be able to have some stuff. Mason
We're-
can add in
I'm a fan.
websites and everything.
I'm a fan already.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, how can you not be a fan, right? I
Yeah,
mean, it's
exactly.
easy stuff. Raul, really appreciate you. Thank you very much for your friendship. Thanks for like I say, keep bringing this to me, and let's talking about it. I really like that, and thanks for you guys and your generous sponsorship of the show as well. We really appreciate
We
that.
love what you guys are doing.
So.
Thank you.
If I were more talented, I'd be on your side of
Well,
the table.
Ed keeps trying to kick me off, so there may be an opening. I don't know. But,
He keeps threatening.
anyway, Raul,
He
thank
keeps threatening to run
Thank
away.
you, guys. That's awesome.
Thanks a
Thank you.
lot.
It's been a pleasure.
So, well, thanks a lot.
It's been a pleasure.